Hey all you virtual reality pioneers, this is Michael with syGlass. Today I'm going to teach you about the Surface Wizard. I'm going to start out with this project. It's got a lot of meshes in it, a lot of surfaces. So let's check out what you can do with these surfaces. When you load a lot of surfaces like this project has, you might notice a little lag time when you open projects, and that's just getting all the data out. If you have your segmentation or your surfaces in a .obj, you can add them right here. If you need support for other file formats, please let me know and we'll add that support for you. So surfaces are much improved from the last version of syGlass. Here we've got a way to edit the color, randomize the color. We can add labels. I'm going to talk about that in a second. And we can also filter the data. So for this data, what we have is a lot of myelinated axons with just a random number. And then at the bottom here, we've got a bunch of human segmented annotation. These are non-myelinated axons. Let's say I want to categorize things in the group of myelinated axons and non-myelinated axons. I'm going to use the filter function, VCN here, to find all of the OBJ files or surfaces with the letters VCN inside of it. And I'm just going to select them all, and instead of having a random color here, let's make them all white so they sort of stand out against the myelinated axons. And while we're in here, I'm going to add a new label, and we're going to have this label selected, and we're just going to apply this to the selected meshes here. So now we've got a nice label on here. I'm going to clear out the filter, and when I do that, all the meshes come back, and we can see there's a point here where they are sort of separated. I'm just going to go ahead and select the rest of them. I'm going to randomize their color, and we'll make a new label for them that just says axons, and let's apply that label. Whoops, let's apply axons, and let's remove non-axons. Okay, so now what we have is all of the axon surfaces have axons on it, and all of the non-axon surfaces have not axons, and they're colored white. Alright, now that we've done all that, let's close this wizard, and now let's launch. Okay, so if I launch this project, we're going to get all of that mesh data out, and here we have all these meshes loading in. And what you'll notice here is there's sort of a ton of orange boxes. These are the bounding boxes of these meshes. And so what we're seeing here is we've moved the mesh loading to another thread, and so those are constantly coming in as quickly as they can be loaded, while the main thread continues on rendering. So we can sort of move around still and handle this data no problem. There's one new tool that I'm going to talk about in this video, and that's the surface selection tool. So this tool is nice. You can go and point at something and pull the trigger, and it'll tell you exactly what it is, okay? But the real power in this tool is in its tool menu, which is over here. Here we've got these sliders. These are programmatically generated. We've got all surfaces. This is always there by default. We've got axons and we've got not axons. These are the two labels that we created. So I'm just going to I'm looking at the data, and I'm going to grab the axons, and I'm going to lower their transparency or their opacity until they are invisible. And now I can see just the non-myelinated axons here. I can do the reverse, so I can lower these down until they're transparent, and if I want, I can bring up the axons here, no problem, and I'll bring that to 100%. So now I've got these axons, and there's still these sort of ghosty transparent data sets in there. Finally, if I wanted to, I could bring them both up and just lower this down here, and they'll sort of all go away whenever I set that. So there are two check marks right here, lowest tag opacity and highest tag opacity. This will just select whichever, if you have multiple labels, so here all surfaces applies to all of them. If I pick this, they should all become solid now. Okay. and that looks good. So I'll bring that up to 100%. Thank you very much.
The Surface Wizard can now export surfaces and meshes as OBJ files. Just open your Surface Wizard, select the objects you'd like to export, and click Export Selected at the bottom.